Hi there, it's Wendy Hernandez with Command the Courtroom. So I get a ton of questions all the time from people who have children that are old enough to express themselves and they're mature enough to say what they want and what they don't want. And those kids are telling one parent that they don't want to go spend time with the other parent. So this can be a problem, especially if there's a court order in place that says the other parent is entitled to a certain amount of parenting time. And you're always obligated to follow the court order. If you don't follow the court order, you could be brought in front of the court for an enforcement action, which means the judge could force you to follow the order, or at the very worst, you could be brought in front of the court for a contempt of court proceeding, in which the judge would look at whether or not you knowingly and willfully violated the court order. And in some cases, judges really get unhappy when someone doesn't follow their orders, and they impose very harsh punishment on people who don't follow court orders. But what if you have a 16-year-old who's saying, Mom or Dad, I don't want to go with the other parent? What do you do? Well, my experience of late is that when I go in front of judges and judges hear the situation, what they do is they tell the parents that the child doesn't get to make the choice. A court order is in effect. The court has made that order after considering the best interests of the child or the children, and the court expects it to be followed. And judges often use the example of children who say that they don't want to go to school, which happens a lot. I know that because I have a 5 or 6 now year old daughter, and she's always telling me she doesn't want to go to school. But the thing is even if your kid tells you you don't want to go to, that he or she doesn't want to go to school, you still make them go to school because that's the best thing for them. So the judge is going to be operating under the premise that whatever the parenting plan is in the best interests of the children, or it would not have been ordered. And if it is in the children's best interest to go with the other parent. Now, I understand you may not agree with that. You may not agree with the parenting plan that was ordered. And depending on the circumstances of your case, it may be time to ask to have that parenting plan modified, especially if there's been a big change in circumstances between at this point and the time when the original parenting plan was ordered. The point of this video is you just have to follow the court order. And if you have a kid who's older, who's just simply saying, I don't want to go to mom or dad's, that may not be good enough for your judge, unless there's some really good reasons. And, some good reasons might be that one of the parents is being abusive or is doing drugs or is hanging around people who are not, or less than or not savory people. They don't have great character. So there are factors that might take you out of that. But unless and until you get a court order where the judge says the kids don't have to go, they have to go. And that's the way it is in the eyes of the court. If there's an emergency that happens and you need to take emergency action, call the police, contact Child Protective Services, or file an emergency motion with your judge. So I hope that this video helped. Remember to head over to commandthecourtroom.com. There's a new website up. There's lots of cool stuff on there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. And until next week, remember to keep on trucking and command the courtroom.